It's impressive stuff there. We see there the road to how they got to this America's Minor. To discuss that road a little bit more, I am joined, of course, here on the desk by Jason and Chad, otherwise known as Moses and Sponge.
There we go.
How are you guys doing?
Nailed it. Yeah, we're doing good. You doing good?
We're probably the two biggest North American experts, I'd say.
Yeah, the top two. The dream team, some would say.
I would definitely say the dream team. Yeah.
And these 8 teams here, how we've seen a little bit there in that preview video of how they got here. How do you think they're going to fare against each other here? We can actually have a look on the screen what the teams are in this tournament. How do you think they're going to fare against each other?
NA matchups are always really, really weird, right? Because, I mean, on top of being inconsistent, especially in like the middle tier and the second tier of North American teams, they just like know each other from playing each other so often in scrims and matches. So it's really hard at times, unless there's like the glaring favorites, like someone like Cloud9, you could say is a pretty big favorite. But outside of that, I mean, it's going to be a little bit of a random nature to it. There can be some very big upsets within the region.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, this is the America's Minor. I made a tweet. If you don't follow me on Twitter, you're missing out on a lot of gems.
You are missing out on some quality.
But there's 16 Brazilians, 14 Yanks, we'll call them, 5 Canadians, 2 French players, 2 Brits, and 1 Australian. So it's pretty diverse. I'd say this is the most diverse American minor we've had.
It's the American dream. It's the melting pot, is what it is.
Yeah, you guys like that.
Yeah, we bring them all in.
But no, I agree with Jason, right? The thing with this is I consider North America, all these teams, it's always a domestic matchup because they play with each other a lot and everyone speaks the same language, right? Everyone's kind of having to speak English and you're seeing them play within teams a lot of the time, and the rosters are constantly rotating. Not only that, you have the rank S and all that kind of stuff where teams are playing together quite a lot.
Yeah. I mean, outside of like the top teams like Cloud9, Liquid, Optic, like those are the kind of the teams that have separated themselves from the pack.
For sure.
And I mean, even Immortals to a certain degree as well. But outside of that, all these teams have the ability to beat one another. I mean, there's no really clear-cut favorites even in this tournament itself. Outside of like I said, Cloud9, Immortals, even perhaps.
CLG on the fringe.
Yeah, CLG's out there on the fringe trying to make that kind of play. NRG is a team that should be there, but still hasn't kind of really established it. So there's a lot of opportunities for movement.
Well, let's have a look now at like how these teams and what teams we're playing against each other over the next 4 days, so that we can see how they'll be matching up. This is the structure of the tournament. We'll have 2 groups. Today we're just looking at Group A. Tomorrow we're looking at Group B, and it will be double elimination GSL format in each of the groups. How do you guys feel about that kind of setup, that structure?
I quite like it.
It's good format.
It's been a lot of Swiss recently. I'm a little bit tired of the Swiss.
Yeah, me too.
I'm liking the GSL.
This is rolling back the years.
It really is.
The cutthroat thing about it is the 2 best of 1s and you're out, right?
Yeah.
But I kind of like that because if you're not here to play, you can't win a best of 1. Well, then
it's a qualifier for the biggest tournament of the year, right?
For sure.
So I mean, just bring your A game. That's all there is to it. Like if you don't win, you don't deserve to be here. That's just how it works.
Okay, and now let's have a look at, as we say, the teams, who's going to be playing, all the structure of the actual schedule for the next 2 days. Here we go. So our first game up today is Immortals versus Complexity. NRG go on to play Luminosity, and then we have the upper bracket final, elimination match, and decider match. Let's go straight into talk a little bit about Immortals and Complexity.
Yeah, Immortals is kind of that second best Brazilian team. Obviously, we talk a lot about these guys because we see them pretty frequent. Well, maybe not super frequently, but we see them a good amount in the big tournaments. The random nature of a guy like Hetty, who's supposed to be one of the big impact players, having the AWPer that is a little bit up and down is a dangerous thing to have. But Bolts, Lucas, they have a lot of talent on this team. But I mean, obviously, the talking point is KNG coming in, just as a new player, losing FNX, like trying to incorporate that, trying to qualify for a major with this new teammate as well. So I still think they're going to be massive favorites against Complexity here.
Yeah, I agree with you there. In this matchup, they are for sure the favorites on paper. The problem is the double AWP setup, right? It's something which you can really punish. For people that don't know, Henny is the main AWPer of this team. And then KNG, when he was in previous teams, he was in Red Reserve, he was the main AWPer of that squad. So how these guys are going to work together is a big issue. I've watched a few of their matches. When they can get the money going and they can both have AWPs on either side of the map on the CT side, they're very dominant. But this is something which is going to be growing pains, right, for these guys.
Yeah, and it's also like Bolts was a guy who was like their carry for a while. He was the guy that they could rely on to have those kind of. And if I'm not mistaken, they went back to Steel as they still have Steel, or is it back to Bolts now?
Steel's the in-game leader. When Bolts was the in-game leader of this team, I actually thought that's when he was the most impressive because
that's when they beat VP in like a BO5 as well. Like last year, they beat NIP at DreamHack Summer.
He was doing a lot of the rotating work, right? He was taking giving up a lot of ground as the in-game leader, but thriving in those positions. I remember him playing like Drop Zone on Cobble, and he was just a beast at it. And now that I think he's not in charge of the way the troops are playing, it's kind of detracted from his play a little bit. You get some of those in-game leaders, right, who feel comfortable when they know exactly what all their troops are doing.
And how about complexity then? Let's have a look at their lineup.
Here we go.
This is one of the, as you said, the multinational teams. We've got a couple of Brits in there, so
yeah,
I'm rooting for these guys.
Henry's mates, Surreal and Def, big guys coming over from UK. This team is just like, can we just be out in the open chat with this one?
Sure.
Desi and Slemmy. Can we just get it out there that they've had a lot of opportunities in the professional scene? These guys just aren't going to cut it, I don't feel. They're not going to be major players. Desi's been on every team in North America, and as much as I wish he would succeed because he's very talented, very exciting with his play style, when he's going off, it just doesn't ever happen frequently. And Slemmy, as kind of an in-game leader, has just shown like he can't bring a team to that next level.
There was a point with Desi, right? It was like the same time Nitro was kind of getting out there, that those two players were seen as the next big stars coming into North America. Desi kind of faded away. I'm not quite sure. I don't actually know the reasoning. I never got to play with the guy. I would assume personality.
Yeah, some personality issues.
If that's the normal go-to, right? Because if a player has skill, then what's the issue? It normally goes to personality.
He's America's ringer, right? He's like, whenever a team has needed a fifth for like a week, or they've needed someone to just kind of close a gap for some time while they try and find like a new fifth. Like Desi's the one that's always been brought in because he has enormous talent, very, very skilled mechanically, very, very strong with his aim, but his decision-making is subpar. His play style, well, this is at least in the past. I haven't seen him play for some time, but his decision-making and his play style is like the high-risk, high-reward.
Yep.
And it's hard to incorporate a player like that within the team. And then you add the personality issues on top of that, where doesn't want to change his play style to fit that kind of a situation, then you just kind of have too much of a wild card to really deal with.
To go on Slemmy, you need an in-game leader, right? The guy isn't performing to any reputable standard for sure, but where do you go in North America? It's already struggle street as it is, right, to get an in-game leader. So they've got the best that they can. But I think the highlight for this team is Android, right? For me, he's the standout player. He is very flashy, very solid, and the only Canadian in the team. Fun facts.
Has the UK experiment I think that's kind of come and gone. It's had its excitement.
They're not terrible players.
No, they're not. But they definitely haven't panned out the way that they would have liked.
Are you talking about the whole UK scene in general?
No, just Surreal and Def, right? So they took a risk on those guys, but they didn't put them in an environment where they have other players who are of much more experience to nurture them. It's kind of thrown in with people of relative experience and gone, good luck, do your best, and it's been a bit of an issue for them over this time. If they were put in with maybe better players, maybe one or two more experienced people, they could have had a better time, learned a little bit quicker. But, like I said, they're not terrible players. In no regard are they bad players. It's just, I think that they've been dealt a difficult card to deal with.
So Immortals, as you say, should be the stronger team here. Is there any, before we go into the map veto, is there any kind of maps that could see complexity maybe cause an upset here? Is there any sort of weaker maps for Immortals?
Always a chance of an upset in best of ones, right?
Yeah, definitely.
The problem with the vetoes here is North America, more so than any other region, always goes with comfort. And in the best of one, you're already vetoing down to the middle ground. So unless you're willing to take like a massive risk and leave something which is the other team's best map, which they're more than happy to play, and you've prepped heavily for that, that's the only way you can really have an upset in the veto or win the veto process, right? And that's by catching the other team off guard by giving them their best map. Sounds ridiculous, but that's the only way that you could really structure it in that regard. I think it's just going to be in a middle ground map, right? You're not going to see anything too interesting come out.
I could actually see something weird. Like maybe I get the feeling that this team is going to like a train, with some of the skills they have. Desi's always like playing that inner bomb site. Oh, and actually we have it up here.
There we go. Yeah, the
cache.
vetoes are on screen.
Yeah, so it is going to be cache. And that's pretty
gets.
middle ground. That's basically like the new, with Dust 2 being gone, that almost feels like it's becoming a little bit more of like the pug map, especially in NA, because it lends itself to some talent, lends itself to some basic tactics that you can do. It's all pretty easy if you want to execute towards a bomb site, if you're just kind of stuck and have no idea. But it can also slip away from you pretty quick. But NA teams love this map, obviously.
You get the double orb going on the CT side of this map, and you're going to have a really hard time because you keep moving them around. KNG and Henny are both combat orbs as well, so they're happy to play relatively aggressively. So if they can get that happening and they can run with that, that's just a stomp of a CT side. The only way you can close that down is by using a lot of utility, doing your protocols on the T side to lock out areas, push them away. And that's something where your in-game leader needs to have set everyone up well. So it's going to be it's interesting to see the approach that Slemmy has, right? Because with Cloud9, he had a lot of tools, and he made the tools do work for him. Here, the tools, they're not as sharp, but he can still get something done.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of defaults out of them. I think it's going to be pretty standard stuff. I think it's mostly going to be a little bit slow-paced for the start, and they'll kind of push things forward from there. But he's never seemed that imaginative to me in his in-game leading style. I mean, it says a lot in Cloud9 when he was the in-game leader for some time, and then Stewie takes it over and does just as good of a job. And there's always, I mean, I know there was a lot of excitement about Slemmy when he was coaching Cloud9, or when he was, the in-game leader of Cloud9. But even like some of the vibe that we heard at tournaments was that he wasn't doing as much, that Stewie at that that point was basically doing the job of an in-game leader without actually being the official in-game leader.
Yep.
So when he took over, it was pretty seamless, and it was kind of like pick up where you left off and then build on it. And when you have someone like Stewie who comes in, who had maybe 5-6 months of experience in professional Counter-Strike total, and he's doing a better job as an in-game leader, then it's just kind of like,
What's going on here?
what have you really got with the original in-game leader? So I don't think we're going to see anything crazy. I don't think we're going to see any like massive anti-strats. I don't think we're going to see any indication too much that they've like looked into it and found some weakness in this Immortals defense. I think it's more just going to be defaults, see what kind of kills you could, see what kind of openings you might find in the first 30 seconds, and go from there.
You talk about in-game leader for complexity. How about Zach then? Do you think Immortals, there could be a chance that they could underestimate complexity? Obviously, you guys have said that Immortals are obviously coming in as one of the invited teams. They're obviously stronger. Are they going to potentially not have looked into complexity enough in this instance?
In this regard, when you're versing a team that you probably play on a regular basis in other leagues or in practice, there's a few things that come into play, right? If you are playing them and you're stomping them all the time, then you probably will overlook them, right? Because you're happy just with your game plan, and that can be a bit of an issue. The next question is, how far can you actually look into these guys? How much depth do they have? I wouldn't say they have a lot. What kind of prep that they've done for this event is something that nobody can account for. The way that they are going to approach this, being the underdog, you have that advantage. You can improvise and you can change before the event to make things as difficult for your opponent to read as possible. Whereas Immortals, they're not going to be swayed. They're going to play their game style. And that's the only chance. If a good plan is coming out from these complexity guys, that's the only way they're going to catch Immortals off guard. It can be a slug of a game, right? If Immortals are cocky and they just keep force buying, they don't get the AWPs into their AWPers' hands, that's when you start to run into issues.
Yeah. And also, I mean, one of the things that Immortals is going to have this massive advantage of is, and we always talk about this with the Brazilian teams, is in terms of like work ethic, in terms of like focus on the game, the Brazilian teams have all learned from SK, formerly the old Luminosity, and their rise. So I mean, these Brazilian teams, despite some of the struggles that Immortals has had in the past, fundamental Counter-Strike, they're pretty good. They're pretty solid with the kind of focus that you need as an individual player. They're not the team that's going to throw some massive thing away just due to some silly mistakes repeatedly. They'll make some mistakes, but it's not going to happen round after round to give complexity some kind of massive momentum swing. And on top of that, I mean, these guys just kind of, more so than complexity to being an NA team, they just know how to play the game properly as a team. They're going to be much more disciplined on retakes, much more disciplined in different situations, much more disciplined in teamwork and taking control of maps. So there's a lot of advantages that Immortals is going to have as a Brazilian side.
Okay, well, we're going to see hopefully now those advantages as we pass over to our commentators, which is Henry G and Sadikist. Take it away, guys.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we are here. We're back in our home in Bucharest, this studio in particular. We did 78 rounds here once.
We did.
Last time we did a minor here.
Back in the cave.
Back in the cave.
Yeah.
The cave, the man cave.
Indeed.
A little boy cave with us in here, but that's all right. Complexity Immortals to start it off. You know, there's more Brazilian players in this tournament than any other nationality.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, 16 Brazilians.
Jason said it's the melting pot tournament. I think that's fair enough.
Melting pot.
Brits, French, Canadians, Americans, Brazilians, all sorts going on. It's quite exciting. It's quite good. This is a team we can get on board with, Matt. We've got a Canadian and British players involved.
It's true, but they are going up against one of the favorites in the entire tournament.
Yeah, so we've got to support them, though. We've got to help them out, give them a bit of moral support on the sidelines, you know, try and see what they can do. I don't think they have a chance there against Immortals, but Immortals with a new player, of course, King coming in. I'm not really sure what to make of him. I haven't seen him play before. I've heard he's very good indeed, but he's obviously a
We saw him a little bit
right,
at Pro League Finals.
Yeah.
I think we only casted them one game.
That's right.
though.
That's why I've looked at him. So he's like he's like an AWPer as well. So that's why it's confusing, right? Because Henny's obviously the main AWPer for the team, but he seems to be rifling more. They can double AWP. That's going to be a great asset for them going forward, especially on a map like Cash, which he will be playing. Yeah. That's very viable.
That'll sort of iron itself out as time goes on with him in the lineup. I think what happens when you bring a new player in is you want to let them play their old role as much as a new, because you have to feel him out, you have to feel you out, vice versa. You have to figure out what works, what sort of complexion. I don't want to say the word complexity because that's confusing.
Yep.
What works? So I think over time we'll see Henny probably back to the AWP would be my guess, but they'll have a slow transition in the meantime.
Oh, we've got all the fancy new graphics coming in, Matt. Are you excited for this?
Yeah, actually, I think it's really, really cool.
We've got more space. We've got money available at all times. Look at that. That is nice.
Yeah, money updated live, too. So every time they get a kill, it instantly adds.
And the amount of kills they have. That's actually cool. We've got all the information here. This is my dream.
Your dream.
I don't even need to look at my own screen.
Is it a wet dream?
Not
just
quite.
A dream?
No, we'll see how we get on. It's still early.
All right, fair enough. It is pretty cool. So yeah, obviously right now you can't really get a feel for how it's going to play out in the round, but you can see sort of how the system works. Bolts has 5 kills. That gets updated so he gets that.
Yeah, we've got all sorts here. We've got the health, the armor, the bullets, the pictures, the flags.
Yep. When the health is red, it means they just recently took damage.
Compact as well. This is just real nice.
That is very cool. So it being on the bottom, therefore, allows
And
the picture-in-picture to be more effective.
That lovely radar as well.
Yep,
This
and
is
then
the full
to
package, isn't it?
compensate for the health, which is typically in the bottom corners, and the ammo, it's been put into the middle bar where steel is right now.
Well then, ladies and gentlemen, the first map of the Americas Minor. Let's get into it, shall we? Immortals versus Complexity. And this is the knife round before we get too excited. I won't break it down too much. But I think the knife round in the best of one is actually quite important. Complexity, especially, certainly one of the underdogs here. It's been a pretty disappointing project overall, I would say, since the Brits came over. I think people were expecting them to be lights out. The only real experience they had coming into this tournament, of course, was like playing kind of decent to like UKCS, but never played in the big leagues or been to big events, and they were hoping to find the experience. As Chad pointed out, they didn't really get given the players to kind of nurture them and look after them and kind of give them the experience they need. It's been a revolving door really of Complexity. So many players in and out. But who knows? Maybe this could be their tournament. Not the greatest game for them to kick things off though. Immortals, one of the heavy favourites, one of the invited teams to this tournament.
Yep.
We'll see whether they can go toe-to-toe with them. Going to be starting on the T side. It doesn't really matter on Cash.
So just to clarify, when you say invited, it actually
Yes.
isn't one of the invited. It means they played the qualifier last time. Is that
Right.
correct? Yeah. I think.
Well, yeah.
They did play the qualifier. Is that how it works for the minors? Then it's not a drop-down system, so no, it would have been a direct.
I don't know. I had them say it on the desk.
Okay, well, that makes sense then.
They said one of the invited teams.
Yeah, I think it's the same for Cloud9, right? Because they played in the no, it's not the same. Because think about it, Nip had to go through the qualifier for the minors, so yeah, it is a direct invite. All right, there you go.
There you go.
The more you know.
Oh, we've got these fancy cams back. The roller coaster's back.
I like roller coasters.
Looks like we will get into it this time. It's going to be Bolts as the utility player. One smoke, two flashes for him. We normally describe you. Listen to my casting. He's normally the A side, and he's smoking towards highway. Flashbangs towards the actual side itself. One smoke is not usually considered the safest option, but here we go. Android, Canadian boy wonder. Let's see where he can get going here.
Headshot on the jumping player. It's Henny that actually comes out on top. KNG is going to take down Android immediately after, so that starts well for Immortals. Good flashbang timing through the smoke, but somehow Slemmy gets across. He sees them trying to jump above. Before he can do anything of it, get his vision fully restored. They're able to wrap quad. Lucas now has a kill, so one apiece for all of Henny. KNG who's gone down, and Lucas. Desi's going to lead his way back around the side. I like that we have Desi's real name on the bottom because it makes it a lot more clear the fact that apparently it's not accurate in the game. We saw it show up as 0235, I think, so I'm not sure what that's about. But Immortal's going to pick up the round. He's pretty straightforward with a bomb plant as well.
He's been playing with that the last few tournaments. I'm not sure why. He's got the lead speed going on. But there it is. Complexity were going for the aggressive play towards Squeaky
Yeah, that
Door.
would be what it is. Yeah, exactly.
Going for that aggressive play towards Squeaky Door. We've got a technical pause, so we can break this down fully if you like. Trying to go for that aggressive pick. We normally describe that as being a viable option for the CT side, trying to get the first pick, full back. Unfortunately, Immortals, and to be fair, across the board here, I think you could say they've got firepower that's is vastly superior to Complexity. They managed to get the first few kills there. Overwhelm that be A-bomb sides, get the bomb down. Smoke's deployed as well. CT's got a couple of frags. I think we had, let's have a look. We had Surreal and Desi finding a kill apiece, but that's really all they got going. So they're going to have to force buy here in the second round. Technical pause. Haven't fully committed Complexity. Here we go. Deagles, Armor, CZs, and PT50s. Surreal and Android, though, not purchasing the armor. So I'm interested to see who is actually main AWPing now for Complexities. When I was following Surreal in his UK career, he was known as a main AWPer. Then he went over to America, and they were kind of mixing that role up every single game they were playing. I haven't really followed them as much as I should have done. But we'll see whether they can impress me today. It's been a while.
So I do spot one small error right now in the team equipment value. Above the CTs, it matches that of the Ts. But other than that, you can see how the money system's going to work. So the equipment value bought it on the T side was 25,950.
Okay.
Or is that combined? I think it's supposed to be individual for the team. But we'll keep an eye on it. I'm learning this as you are. I think it's quite beautiful. Lucas leads the way with the AK in toward mid. Already spotted one player in behind white box, but won't necessarily push through to try and take them down. So instead toward a main that's going to spray in and take down Desi, who pushes through. So there it is. It's D351, which makes a lot more sense.
Yes. Well, normally in this sort of round, you want to go for some basic mid control. You've got the AKs, you can just take the jewels, and that's where KNG will be heading right now. They've already got the pick. It's a 5-on-4. Plenty of time to work as well. You're waiting for the CT reactions to come in, and here they come. Def, one of the UK talents, pushing through to A storage here. Desperately trying to find a kill. Spots player towards mid warehouse. He knows at this sort of range he won't have the advantage yet. Picks up a Deagle and have a chance to have another crack at it. But for now, Immortals making their way up highway as well. It's KNG looking for the next frag. If he gets this, they probably commit towards the A site. He's undetected so far, and there's one player waiting for him at the forklift.
KNG's going to get around the corner and push out. At the same time, they get Squeaky Door attained. Good play from Lucas, catches off Surreal, so KNG's got a lot more room to work with. Now confirms there's a player behind the flames. Well spotted through them. Def goes down, catches off the rotations. KNG looking very good on the AK-47 thus far. Henny, with 24 HP, survives, meaning all 5 stay alive, and he keeps the SMG, which means they could carry that over for definitely this round, but potentially further. They have gone pretty much all rifles otherwise. We didn't really see much of a change in the SMG. I think there was a little bit less used, but it was still just as effective.
We saw the FAMAS come out slightly more and the Galil as well. We saw a lot of teams opting for that. Even on the T side, not getting a bomb down in the pistol round or the second round. They fall off by Galils in the third. That was quite interesting. Saw a few teams do that, especially likes of G2, and actually finding some great success with that idea. But for now, Immortals 2-0 up. It's going to be a full eco here from Complexity, just PT50s and USPs. KNG once again up towards Highway. And this is a full A stack from the Complexity side. Sure, they're in the right position, but it doesn't look like they'll be able to get much done here. KNG finds another frag there. It's going to be a 5-on-3, make it a 5-on-2 as they start to drop like flies at this point. It's just be Def remaining. And not really much he can do about this one. He is in Squeaky Door. They might overlook him. There it is. Takes on Henny, but he should be taken down momentarily.
Trying to hold the angle, very tight angle.
Oh, got a neat little graphic there as well at the top.
You didn't see that the last few rounds.
I've been looking at my laptop.
Ah, yeah, no, it's been there. It's a real thing.
This is all real nice. So we have the team money left. Oh, that's quite cool. You can see how much residual cash they have left over on the CT side, right? So team money 300.
Right. Okay. So it is an equipment value combined in the middle, the 51,000 that I saw. Right. It must be.
But yeah, it tells you how much cash is. You can actually see whether it's like a full force buy, etc.
No, I think it's very cool.
So Surreal is going to be the main AWP apparently, like I was speculating before. He does prefer that role. We'll see if we can get rolling here. He's up against Henny though, and we know he can be absolutely lights out at this map. Matthew, we've seen him have some sick games on this one, and he's picking towards middle right now, looking towards white box. No one's going to be there. There's actually a CD player towards the sandbags area. That's going to be Android, joined by Slemmy as well on the right-hand side. So Henny could get caught out here, depending on what time they decide to face. Yeah, you can sense this might be happening. Slemmy very patient for now.
I like how he's very quickly flick-checking that, despite that it really wouldn't do much if he peeked at any other time. So he is being a little bit bold, holding off the wide angle toward the white box. He's actually crossed over and gotten himself a little bit further in the corner to watch Z connector instead. No boost over yet. Slemmy waiting. I think he heard the jump. He looked above but realized that's inside of A main, as we saw it on the X-ray. That is true. We've confirmed that, Henry. And they're going to go over toward the A site. 4 players in A main, 1 toward the Squeaky Door. That's Steel. He'll start to work his way through on Desi, who's sitting quite comfortably for now, but a smoke down in front of him. They'll be on top of him before he's ready to move. They've already put the Molotov in place as well, but he's pushed. Where is he? Because Lucas is going to go through. He's flashed up. Good timing. Desi goes down. Lucas is able to spray out the depth. He looks down the highway as well.
That's so blind.
And it's quite a good position.
Was that a little team comms?
I think it was a team comm.
So blind. He's like, guys, I can't
Might have
do
been
anything.
I
So
think
blind.
probably what it was in-game.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's quite cool. Oh, yeah, you're right. So they're probably pressing Q to talk in-game, right? And then, like, talking to each other in that regard. But here we go. A retake is beginning. Android is Slemmy, bringing it down to 2-on-2 at least. They're going to be low HP and still finds another frag. That should conclude the round. That was actually really sick. You see the way Lucas runs in backwards, right? He's got a set path. He knows exactly where he's going with those smokes deployed. And the CTs, like you heard, so blind that you could see how there was wall munching when he runs through that smoke. And that's perfect, as he's so confident in the angles. He has to check. His teammates got everything else covered. And you can see that's a real nice set piece there. It's very common on the first gun round especially. You're going to be deploying those kind of tactics because the CTs won't have necessarily orbs or incendiaries or even a defuse kit if you get the bomb down. So set piece in those sort of rounds, very strong, and that's why a lot of teams not opting to force buy in the second round as CTs anymore. Henny towards the storage now, gets the first shot on Surreal. They're going to be on a full eco, of course, so taking one player down, and we'll see whether this works out for them. Because they're trying to push in and take down Henny, but he seems to be finding every single kill. Lucas finds another one, and now Android, last player remaining. It's going to be 5-0 up. It's happening.
Could well be. I believe you in that hypothesis, Henry. Let's see if we get any deagle shots come out from young Android. Brad Fodor.
Do you know him at all?
No, I've never met him in person, nope. I know who he is as a player, obviously.
Yeah.
We saw him at ECS season
He wasn't he one of the players, like, he was originally in Complexity, then he left. And
well, it was Without a Roof, was who they were for a while. He was
Right.
playing with them, which I can't remember who they were before that. And then, yeah, he played with Complexity for a bit of time. I don't ask me to.
Yeah, I just remember when the Brits first went to this team, he was in it, I think. And now he's back in. I think he left a little bit. I don't know.
There we go. That's what we were looking for. So
on,
at least one kill. Bomb's quite far along in its tick time, so he should be okay to try and hold the AK, but instead he gets aggressive, and Henny's able to catch him off quite quickly from Highway.
Yeah, that's not bad. 5-0 for Immortals. The Complexity now do you get the maximum loss bonus. There's a little replay of Henny just mopping up with the AWP. They went for the aggressive B take. They're hoping to trade with him, maybe pick up the orb and have a chance to do something with it, but not meant to be. Here we go then. It's going to be round number 6. A double orb setup. We normally discuss this being an idea when things are getting a bit dire for yourself and you're trying to find a solution. Be so overwhelmed, especially on a map like Cash. You have a turret on either side of the map. This is a fast play from Immortals this time, boosting 2 players up towards middle. Mid is open from the CD side, but that's fine when you've got the double orbs. You have the orb towards quad usually, and you see whether you can look towards Highway and take them down in that regard. Molotov's deployed, and it's up to KNG to look above the smoke. I really like this strategy. Using that smoke to look above it from the white box as well is quite a cool idea, but Def's ready for it. Takes down Lucas, and they've got the advantage for the first time in this game.
Yeah, something to work with. Something to aspire to. KNG, though, has good position on Highway. No one so far pushing back towards Zeke. In fact, they've gone passive. Slemmy's expecting them to push through. Problem in being so passive is that he has given KNG a lot to work with. He's going to start to slowly get a little more aggressive, but good find from Def on the AWP. That, with A main going down on a smoke in front of him, means he can start to put a little more pressure toward Highway. He's not completely content with that, though, so he looks back the other direction. Desi and Android finding kills in the meantime over toward B, and it is just Steel remaining. So we could find a round for Complexity.
Yeah, you'd hope so at this point. Steel knows he probably can't win the round, but if he can cause some economic damage towards the CT side, that'd be great. Even 1 or 2 kills, that would limit them. They're going to lose the loss bonus after this round. No chance he can really do much of this. Managed to do a bit of damage, but Android finds the final frag. And there we go. Complexity winning their first round of the minor. It's going to be number 7 here. Like I said, the reset bonus is removed at this point. They have to buy grenades over and over again. And have they gone down to $0? Have a look. What have they got left? I'm trying to work out the system. So the team money's on the left. So they've got 6K left over for now. Is that right?
No. Team money. Well, do the math. Press tab and see. So it says 5,900. What do you have when you do the math?
Yeah,
that makes sense. Yep. 17, 16, 2, 50. Yeah, that sounds right.
Okay, so that's cool. So you've still got the double up set up. They still have a bit of money left over. Not probably enough for a full buy to lose this round. So it's still a must win.
The only thing you have to remember when you look at that accumulated amount is that it's distributed among 5 people. So when you see 5K, it looks like, oh, 5K. It's not average per person. That doesn't mean they have a buy left over. It means they literally have 5K between all 5 of them. So the average is about 1,000 a player, which isn't a buy in hand. Ooh, Def. First shot with the door open, and then through the wall. He actually hit Steel. Yeah, he's down to 11 HP. So he hit him through the door with the AWP. It must have just caught him shoulder, perhaps. Maybe it wouldn't have been door. Door would be a straight kill, so it would be through the edge of the wall.
Yeah. Well, 5-1. Complexity with the advantage once again. It's Def, who seems to be quite nifty with the orb these days. I didn't really regard him as an orb pump. But 5-4 in their favor, still low HP as well. Immortals still have smoke grenades remaining, flashbangs and molotovs. Actually only 1 smoke, so execution potential definitely limited going forward. 45 seconds now. Bomb actually making his way towards A. So maybe it's a basic execution smoke at Highway, Molotov towards squad, quad and MBK. And it's only Def on the A side. So he's got the AWP, of course, watching that tight angle. He'll be smoked off, presumably, any second. What a common smoke, there it is. And now he's got his work cut out. He doesn't want to go down with nothing, and that's exactly what's happened. Now the A side is open, and it's a 4-on-4.
4-on-4 indeed. Slemmy flashing over. We'll back off. This time CT's with control of Highway, but not the site. So it's a straight take, and it works for Immortals. Bomb planted default. They'll sit on top of that to babysit it as a Molotov goes off to quad. That'll force at least 1 player to peek, but not far enough apparently because they can't find a kill onto him. Surreal starts the way. Steel's still on 6. Bolts goes down. Surreal on the off, so they're running that in a few different positions. Surreal getting closer. The UK player this time will go down with the up. Def not someone to wield it, but good job by Android. He's going to go directly on this, you know. He's going to hold this. Look at the second timer and everything. We've got milliseconds included as Henny takes a shot from above. It was a good try.
I think that was the right call. Go with that full defuse. It's quite rare they would do that. I like that idea from Android. Some nice shots there on the retake. Brought it down to the 1v1, but Immortals get the better of them. Like we said, that's a disaster. 4 Complexity is the best of 1. You've been fully reset. The money has been a bit of an issue here. I think they're taking a timeout. Good chance to do it. It's going to be Slemmy, 1 kill, not known to be a huge fragger. That was the issues he had in Cloud9. He brought them some structure, but he couldn't really keep up with the fragging. Didn't bring much to the table in that regard. So still struggling in that department, it seems. Desi, I actually think he's a really good player. I think he's a very talented individual, up his downs in the NA scene. Been in almost every team, I think, across the years, but found his place in Complexity for now. He's on 2 for 7. Surreal, like I said, another UK player. Not one of the old guard. He's one of the later generations of UK CS players, was considered one of the hottest talents we had maybe a couple of years ago, and then went over to Complexity. I guess it's been kind of quiet since then. They haven't really set the world on fire, but Def and Surreal looking to fly the UK flags. Be Android, 7 kills, 6 deaths, and we'll have a look what they bring to the table in round number 8 here. It's going to be PT50, 6 deads, and yeah, pretty much for the weekend. No nades, no armor. Round number 8. This should be Immortals running away with this one. I'll be surprised if Complexity even find a single frag here. Some decent damage done towards KNG. 17 HP for him, drops off. In terms of money, we get $1,900 for Complexity in the next round. So they have an average about 2.5K per player right now. So they definitely can buy, but it won't be the best. And they can get a couple of kills here, that'd be great. But like I said, unlikely. KNG now the only low HP player. He'll just be holding up towards the truck and T-spawn. This is very standard stuff. You get that first pick. You know, the CT's already eco, they'll be pushing for information, trying to catch someone off guard. You're just waiting for them in these sort of angles.
So Desi with B250 may get gifted an opportunity, not necessarily a kill. And Steel's ready to that, so down he goes. Straight forward, he'll continue to push in and clear out the lockers as well.
Yeah.
It's only Death left in the site, and he's going to sit, again, similar angle, as you mentioned. Pistols, and a little bit anxious. He fired at the CZ, couldn't get it. Lucas ducks underneath of him. The first shot looked like it had promise.
There's so many flashes default.
So there you go. I think that's Desi saying that they like to always flash default.
Yeah, we get a bit of snippet of comms out.
Lopen again even.
Could be dicey. Some interesting stuff can come through.
So that's the one thing with it is, I mean, tournaments have done this in the past. In fact, I had streams designated strictly to comms at one point in time. Ooh, Android. He looks flashy. But unfortunately, yeah, the issue is that the teams were worried about a few things. One is understanding communications and calls for defaults, and 2, language that was unsuitable for the audience.
So the reason they use that, right, because if you use in-game comms on this sort of config, the players that are live can't hear you. It's only the players that are dead to communicate, right? So you can at least have a little chat and not
and
interrupt
distract, exactly.
So we used to do that when we played. So I haven't seen that in a while. It's quite nostalgic. So that's it. You normally give tactics away. Just normally describing what happened and how you went down. Normally, maybe rage your teammate as well. That used to happen quite a lot. Fast play from Immortals, it seems. Crisscross smokes towards middle. Will be boosting up as well. Surreal back on the AWP. No double orb setter this time. It was Death that was doing most of the work with the sniper rifle. He'll be down to just the M4 here. It's a really weak buy, though. Surreal, no armor, no kits across the board. Famous to Slemmy, who's already struggling. He's on 1 for 8. And it's 7-1. So this is another eco to lose this round. It's a really difficult situation for them in this best of 1. If you're not aware, it's a double elimination GSL format. We've been using the Swiss for a while now. It's nice to see GSL have another go at it.
Yep, Sonny's already down. Lucas gets in position timely as well. It is true. I do like this format for this setup as well because it gives teams a bit more of a chance to get through. We only get, I guess from this one I should say, from this particular round, two teams are going to make it through to the qualifier. Desi did response, but unfortunately they're a little bit late in doing so, and there you go. Immortals wins the round.
It's a long old road to the major, isn't it? So you've got to do the qualifier for the minor, then the minor to the major qualifier, the major qualifier to the major. So it definitely is a very difficult task to get there, but...
NIP can tell you all too well.
Too soon.
Is it too soon?
Breaks my heart.
It does. I mean, absolutely, but it's... How punishing is it now?
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. At one point, the most decorated team in all CSGO, now not even making it to be in the minor. Not fading in the minor. Didn't even make it to the minor. Insane.
Shot KNG takes down Desi. He peeks twice, not once, but twice, and it's to his detriment. They'll continue to wrap around from A main as well. Surreal and Def inside of the site still to hold off a crossfire, but Surreal's actually engaging already. Trying to flash Def in early enough to get the kill and back away because the AWP not still in position, so KNG cannot respond. And a double up set up on the T side. You talked about KNG picking it up as well as Henny.
Yeah.
Now they're using it against pistols. This is kind of interesting, but KNG's got 2 kills. Bolts has 1 death. That's all you get in the round, by the way. You can't have 2 deaths in a round. Just want to point that out.
Slemmy and Surreal. AK-47 obtained. Doesn't try and save. I don't... Okay, I was about to say, maybe Might be worth considering the save on this weapon. Fancies the chance now. I guess at this point, it's a best of one. Needs to start posting some rounds on the board. He needs to go for it. He's been very quiet so far, but starting to come to life, it seems. No kit available, but he finds his third kill of the round. KNG, like he said, with the AWP, watching the bomb, and he's actually done it. Slemmy, who's been so quiet throughout the entire game, has an absolutely amazing round there. It was an eco, and he wins it after picking up the AK-47. The full defuse won't be a problem. And that's showing us at least he can still roll with the big boys, it seems. Great shots from him and a great clutch overall. 8-2 and plenty of money in the bag as well. This could be the comeback from Complexity. At least a chance to.
Well, we'll see. It would be a long road back into it. Because even they themselves, it is definitely a lifeline. Even they themselves, I mean, the money is low enough, you're right, but even they themselves will be able to get reset based on how many kills go against them, and then you could talk about force buying, et cetera, et cetera. But it is surprising that they have this lifeline, as you will, this early.
Yeah, so the A1 down, full eco, managed to pick it up, so we're back into this, and Def now, he's feeling it, pushing to that squeaky door, taking down Steel. Very viable option, and there's going to be a frag for Slemmy as well. He's actually waking up, it seems. A player called out for having a lack of firepower in previous lineups. It shows us what he can do in the last couple of rounds. It's looking very good. 5-on-3 now. Surely a chance Complexity to convert a couple in a row here. Cannot get reset at this point, especially in a 5-on-3. That'll be so gutting for them. It's Henny, KNG, and Lucas now. They'll find something, and Slemmy gives it away. No real need for that. And it's going to be a 4-on-3 now. I beg your pardon.
So they start working at A main once more. Lucas and KNG. Shot Lucas to take down Def. Opens up fourth position. Crossfire setup though. Desi's still behind Fork. He manages to back off. He's going to continue to do so. Caught from Highway. Good timing from Henny. He's tagged up and then taken down the AWP, but Surreal's ready as he walks back in, so he keeps himself in it with a chance as Android's going to rotate around. They'll work together on this. One from Highway, one from Truck. The AWP obviously being at Truck. And Lucas with his AWP goes aggressive instead, but he's already spotted, shoulder baited. He's just holding, waiting for the angle to flash timing. He actually clips Android through the wall, but it's not enough.
Good round there from Complexity after getting that 5-on-3 advantage as well. Looked like he might have slipped away, but they managed to win the 2 versus 2 situation. Finding that first pick, Lucas gets the AWP out. Probably a nice idea from him. I think if he'd have stayed a quad, he might have had a better chance. Wanted to go slightly more aggressive and make it a 1v1 situation nice and early. There's the replay of Surreal. A nice shot towards Highway. So they managed to do it. They've converted 2 rounds in a row, both of which where the bomb was planted, and it was 2-on-1 situations, but they've won both of them. Money still available for Immortals, but not much. You can see there's an AWP, a UMP, Khalil, and a Tech-9 as well. So that certainly signifies the money is being whittled away here. If Complexity can win this round, I would say they are back in this game. And it's going to be wallbangs attempted from the terrorist side. They'll be working out. And maybe a boost coming in from the CT side. Desi gets himself in that position, but not backed up. So same crossfire they had before. One player towards sandbags, and one in the Neo position as well. Just looking to stop players walking out and shut down any boost as well. Double AWP setup once again. Def, this time watching A storage from City Spawn and Surreal towards B.
Def's just waiting. Left side of the truck, very, very open angle. Hits the shot, he's fine, but if he gets stuck in this corner and they make it into the forklift, he could have problems. There's no one really even close enough on Highway to support that. Slemmy's going to rotate around so he could. I think we might see a boost for the first time in a long time on the CT, or excuse me, on the T side. Try and get above and over and work toward the cubby, where indeed Desi is. They're late to bags. No one goes all the way over, so no Molotov to flush him out. But all they're doing is checking mid this round rather than trying to push to Highway, where they have had a lot of access, to be fair.
This will be that full execution once again. Let's keep our eyes on Lucas if we can and see if he has the same sort of play with the flashbang. Doesn't look like he will. He's in a different position this time. Smoke's deployed. Molotov's coming in as well. Slemy's trying to do some damage in. Sprays through. Gets one. Picks up KNG. 5-4. It's a difficult buy for Immortals. This is a big round. If Complexity can convert this one, they're going to have a chance to actually get a couple more in a row.
Shot from Def. This is exactly it. A couple more in a row. They've got to hold off. On the Immortals side, they're not doing so. It's just Steel remaining. He's going to go down as well. Slemmy getting 2 kills on the way back through, and all 5 staying alive. This is, you're right, definitely their chance to get back into the half.
Yeah, this has to be an eco now. With the bomb going down, I think we could have a partial buy coming from Immortals here. They could squeeze out like a really poor buy, be like a mixture of AKs, UMPs, Tech-9s. I think they'll just go for the partial. That would be wise at this point. You have the lead. You've won the T half already, but nice play from Slemmy. He was a 1 for 8, and he's now actually 9 for 10. He's turned his game around and got involved and had some really amazing rounds. So round number 13 coming to the closing sectors now of the first half. 8-4, double orb setup once again for Complexity. Got an AK to work with, a couple of M4s, and Surreal and Death, the UK duo over the sniper rifles. It's going to be towards B this time. They're just trying to set pieces, it seems, Immortals now. It does make sense when you've only got the Tech 9s and P250s. Maybe just a smoke towards City Spawn, flash over. Won't be the most technical of executions. They've got Molotovs to work with. Take on the flashes. Look at that first frag. And it's going to be Slemmy, though, once again doing amazing work here with that M4A4.
Slemmy's trying to stay alive. They're going to wrap around. Good shot back, keeps himself in it. Surreal takes Henny, so he's alive on the site. Bomb down as well. Bolts may have slipped in behind them, but I don't think he's going to do much with it. He might get a kill. Does pick up one. Bolt not tagged by the no-scope of the AWP. They know exactly where he is, and all attention is turned toward him. 1:03. It's got to be kills to win the round, especially where the bomb is babysat so heavily.
Yeah, there's an AWP up there for him, but they're trying to deny it as much as they can. That's going to touch him. He might go down to this. Oof, a couple more ticks would have done it. Down to 21 HP now. Got a flashbang, and just that Tech 9 unable to recover the AWP. So he's given up with that idea, and Complexity do indeed win the round. Surreal taking down that final kill. It's on Bolts. 8-5. That's actually 4 rounds in a row, Matt. So we did say they managed to win that previous one. Could have been a couple in a row, and it certainly has done the job. They actually give themselves a shout. Even if it's 10-5 at this point, it's not the worst half in the world. His Slemmy once again. He's actually gone for top of the scoreboard. He was a 1 for 8. Now he's a 12 for 10. Great job by him. Good turnaround. Round number 14. Still the double orbs for Henny now with a full by himself. Known to be very good on this map. We've seen how it's amazing performances, but nothing too crazy so far. Boost up, just narrowly avoiding the flames up.
Good play. Surreal using the smoke. Good awareness of it to not only extinguish the Molotov, but then have a gap inside of the smoke to take down the player checker. Assuming it's Sunlight that wouldn't have expected that. KNG, though, making up for it. We'll catch Slummy off in mid. This could again open up access to Highway. The bomb's still waiting at mid. Won't commit either direction just yet. Lucas has to be careful, taking a lot of damage, down to 10. That was an exchange toward vents. They're in, though. They're not going anywhere. Surreal has the first shot already. Good response, KNG on the AK this time as Henny smoked down a tree, needs to position himself to get a shot at Heaven. He backs up and realizes he needs the angle in his favor, but they're already over to the left side. As Steel goes for the plant, who's going to peek out? Player at Heaven not moving just yet. Def will start to do so, so too will Android, but as such, Henny's already gone back to watch the rotation flank. So don't have access. He's cleared it. Come back around the fence. Instead, on the spray down position, it's Steel that goes in with one, out with the other. Android makes his way through, but he's found by Henny, who's starting to get dynamic again from Checkers smoke in front of him, but a 2 versus 1, and Def has a lot of work to do. And they WP. May not be a lot of work anymore, though. Lucas has only 10 HP to work with, but he's in behind him. He's got to be careful. Manages to make it work.
Yeah, he almost whiffed that spray. There was the full AK commitment there. Crowd spray 30 bullets. Like you said, low HP wasn't such a huge factor considering Def had the AWP, but still, the dicey towards the end there. His Def pushing in towards the checker room. Great flashbang by him. You can see how effective that was in this split screen replay. Pretty nice. And we go into the final round now. Number 15, 9-5. Plenty of money available for Complexity here. They recover with the double orb setup once again. Bolts down to the UMP. Pretty much full buff up from that. Still with no nades, so still are not completely stable. And looks like maybe a little B fake here. Henny and Bolts towards the B storage side of the map, and then 3 in Squeaky Door. Def for that decent angle once again, though. He could shut them down. That's just 1 kill, full back. Quite a safe angle for him. And the terrorists are aware. They're not going to give too much away at the moment. They're all 3 waiting for the distraction to be made at B, from what I can tell right now. They can see the door is open, so they don't want to give too much away. And Def's fallen back. Bait has been taken, it seems. They can just walk out to the A side. There's no one there whatsoever. They can just go silently here. They can plant as well, man. This is rough.
Yeah, free access. One of my absolute favorite things in life.
As opposed to pay.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone loves stuff that's free, right? The best things in life are often free. For Immortals, that's a bomb plant on the A side. His bolts goes all the way back around as well. He's going to hear 2 coming. Only manages to get 1, but that's fine. Because with bomb down, it gives more information as to exactly where the CTs are. And of those CTs, they now know one of them is that truck. The other is flanking in behind. They're now ready for it. Crossfire set. Don't even need it. KNG's got the kill. It's 10-5 at half for Immortals.
Yeah, taking the bait, hook, line, and sinker, their complexity. They just heard one player towards the B side of the map, a couple of smokes deployed as well. Death, who had the perfect position to shut that round down, he falls back towards CT spawn, and they walk into an open A bomb site. The bomb going down, and there's 10 players on the server as well. That's a little bit shocking in complexity. Probably a bit frustrated at that one. They did get back into this game at least. So we said 10-5, certainly possible to still win the game. We take no breaks here at the minor. We're going straight into the second half. It's round number 1. So this time complexity on the T side, of course. They've got quite a tactical execution coming in potentially here as well. They've got 1 smoke, 2 Molotovs, flashbangs, decoys, and in terms of upgraded pistols, none of those actually have Glocks and armor on the remaining 3 players. So Surreal towards Scootador. Quite a standard round from what I can see so far. The bomb in the back of Android, and he's in mid storage as well. So Desi watching B, Slemmy and T spawn. CT's not on the A retake this time. I've just got 3 players within the bomb site itself. Bolts at the forklift. KNG and Henny towards the core position.
So Android being very, very passive for complexity as he waits with bomb.
Yeah, they're just hoping that some CT aggression comes in here. They can shut it down, get the early advantage, then go for their execution. That'd be ideal, but doesn't seem to be coming in. So like we said, Molotovs, I would say they go towards the B site from the current setup. 2 Molotovs on the site, smoke towards CT spawn or heaven, flash in. I'd say CT spawn smoke makes more sense. And then you're trying to overwhelm the players on the B bomb side.
Bounce flash. Lands well inside of B main, but no one there to catch it. They're going to play a retake B, which is very, very difficult to do, to be fair. Especially with the smoke down, Lucas can't find anyone. Tries to fire every bullet in his gun to do so. Steal realizes they've gone in toward the generator and wrap back around. Takes some damage, tries to dish some out, but can't find the headshots either. So bomb planted. This is actually a great position for complexity to be in. Steals the one with the kit. Thankfully, he's already over at B. So if he goes down, it's within range of his teammates. Setup is strong right now from complexity, and it's going to be go time, and it's going to be a fast go as well from Immortals. They're all set, they're all ready. Rush in and take the exchange, take the fight, force the issue, but being slow and hesitant, that gives Android a free shot within the site. Lost his teammate in Desi, but Android's done very well. You give this guy any chance at accuracy, it seems he's going to take it. His movement's quite good as well as he gets behind Bolts, but still Bolts finds the kill. And they've got the time, or do they? They don't. The kit never got close enough. Steel went down, no one picked it up, and Complexity win the round.
Really nice run there for Complexity. Like we said at the start, very slow and disciplined in that default, waiting for the CT aggression to come in. Went for that full B execution. Unfortunately for Mortals, they went all in on A. Normally it's the A retake, you focus more towards middle and CT spawn, and then you go for the retake depending on where the map goes. But there's 3 players on the A side of the map, so like you said, 5 players on either side alive. Once again, when the bomb's planted, that's going to be an amazing position for Complexity to be in. And Mortals do find the kills. They have the superior firepower when it came to the one-on-one duels, but the kit not making it to the bomb side itself means that Complexity pick up a much-needed pistol round here. A 4 spy from the CT side, managing to find all the kills, means they get a bit more money. A UMP comes up for Henny, a couple of CZs, Deagles, 5-7s as well. Fast mid play there from Complexity, trying to find that first pick, and Android, he takes it down. That's Lucas dropping first. And now, nothing else has to happen. They don't have to overcommit, hold middle, wait for the reaction to come in, like we saw from Immortals in the first half. Do some great damage towards Henny as well. So this is looking great.
Play Desi. Getting in before Henny could retreat completely up highway. Steal found by Android, waiting in middle. So 10-7. All 5 staying alive. Things looking good for Complexity to start out the round. They've got 18K over 5 players already. So as you see, rather than looking at that, it's about 3K each. And they've got an option to farm a little bit more with 4 SMGs. 4, Henry.
4
15
SMGs.
kills for Android, by the way. Not bad. Reverse that around. It's 19 kills for Henny that leads the way. Pass toward the B site. Surreal. Good position. Aggressive. Death finds another. Yeah, the SMGs are farming all the cash. Rushing in. Android will get a kill. I think that's Team Ace, was it? No, it wasn't. There was 2 kills for Death. My mistake. I thought Slemmy got one.
Oh, do we have Slemmy, because he's the in-game leader? Does he get a little...
Oh, yeah, look at that. Little
captain.
What we should know our rank. Is that Sergeant? I think that's Sergeant.
Sergeant would make sense.
Yeah, because it's private. See, it's different in the States and Canada. Private, Private 2, or Private, First Private, Corporal, Sergeant. I don't know. I used to know this.
Anyway.
I used to play in a Medal of Honor clan that used those.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was very cool. I got promoted to admin, though, so I was over top of everyone. Get wrecked,
Server
Rex.
admin.
Get wrecked. I could do whatever I wanted.
So then Bolt on the other side. That's quite cool. Little notes. There's going to be plenty of things we notice throughout the weekend, I think, and we'll keep track of them. But here we go. round.
If someone knows what that army logo is in your respective country, let us know on Twitter. Chirping like a bird on Twitter. Dodges a flash quite swiftly. That's Desi that wants to walk out though with the AK. He'll find his successful kill, but Lucas has got one better, I should say. 2 overall. Fortunately, unaware that Surreal was so deep inside of the site, but it's KNG that still steps up. And we've got to close the program unexpectedly, as the AWP from KNG was too much to handle, but it's Surreal and Desi left alive, and they're going to try and get a bomb plant down. Default position with the smoke behind the box. It's quite good for them. We've got some floating weaponry. That's for nice. Desi.
We'll back into it though. It's going to be 10-8.
This could be good actually. Boost above the smoke. See, highway goes completely the other way.
Nice attempt.
Yep.
Good boost, but KNG ready for that. Blows their heads off with the AWP. It's going to be Immortals winning at the first gun run here. But that was still a bit of a bonus run there from Complexity. Like you said, so many SMGs to work with. Quite standard on the first gun run after the city's force by in the second. Go for a set piece, stick together, get the smokes down, bomb plant in. They had an AWP though to work with Immortals and managed to pick it up. 11-8 now. Complexity with another buy in hand. This might be their final one though. Android still with a bit of residual cash. He's got 4K left over. Very important round. So Complexity right back into this. It was looking so dire at one point. I think it was 8-1 before they really got rolling here. They finished the half 10-5 with one in the second half pistol though. It's actually looking relatively convincing for a chance for them to get back into it. We'll see what happens. So round number 20 now. Double AWP set up on the CT side, of course. That's where Henny and KNG want to be. It's not ideal having another primary AWP within the team, but these sort of situations, it's great. I guess it kind of works out depending on what map you're playing. You just don't want to get in a situation where you're force buying double AWPs every single opportunity. It's not viable across every single map and scenario.
I like that you can see who's blinded even when you're not watching them as well on the overlay. So Henny's blinded right now. Henny's dead right now. Surreal catches him. Good play. Push out of the vents from mid. Catch him as he falls back in from checker. Simple map control to use. Surreal. And Desi.
Yeah, well, the opening pick coming in for Surreal. 5-4. Complexity now starting to find these advantages consistently. They can actually convert them. Yet to be seen. Surreal with another pick there. That's Lucas being taken down towards middle. He's going to get, I thought, boosted up. Actually heads towards A storage here.
Do you know that he drives a Kia? Because he's a Kia man.
The Kia man, yeah, I saw that. Keep that gold coming.
Oh, Android's gone down. Steel with that kill. It's going to be death to be taken out by Bolts. They could actually find round 12 here as they pull it back to 3 versus 3. It's still all to play for. Everyone blinded by that flash, by the way. Some more than others. Slemmy able to get the bomb down. Will play close to the box. Molotov will go over his head. He'll be in good position, but they've still got to be a little bit careful of the fact that KNG has a WP and Surreal goes down. So now not only is he Kia man, he's killed an action man. Was it him that was Kia man? Did I get that one right? Okay,
Surreal.
Cool. Nice. Okay, I got it. Joke landed. KNG's got Desi. He's actually holding off well, but KNG very good on the retake. Gets all 3 kills when it was in the 3 versus 3. And he's going to get the defuse as well.
Slemmy doing everything he could there. 2 kills towards the end. I thought he was going to win yet another clutch for Complexity towards the ace. So I have to say, a few players giving away their kill for free there. No chance of a refrag. Deft is running up highway. Not even looking towards CT spawn, giving Bolts an easy frag. And that's going to be 12-8. They got the bomb down there, so they can still buy into this one. Money being whistled away. They're keeping the CTs relatively modest as well, coming down to a couple of 1v1s in the previous round. So we'll see what happens here in the buy. So it looks like we do go all in. Complexity with AKs, UMPs, and 1 Tech 9. So Surreal, of course, the AWP. Not as much money as his teammates. They do have enough for an execution, though. I'd say towards B. That's exactly what will happen here. This will be the Molotovs towards the site. Checkers as well. Waiting for any sort of reaction here. We have got a CT player towards the checker rooms itself. Not fully committing. Just trying to bait out any grenades potentially here. Lucas goes down to 67 HP.
Up on top of the box.
Here we go.
Hop on pop. Lucas down immediately after he takes out Desi, but gets 1 for 1. Not bad on the fact that they're entering this B, so they've got the information. This needs to be better. As they walk out through the vents, Slemmy goes back into steal, but it is a decent play and good position from KNG. Again, Henny's going to pinch them in. Slemmy's not sure exactly which way to go. He's still waiting to see if they'll face. Manages the kill on KNG.
Oh, Slemmy with another clutch here, Matt. He's won a few of them this game, currently on 17 frags. He really has been lights out after going down 1 for 8. Can't do anything about it. This round, though, unfortunately, no bomb planted as well. 13-8. Looks like this is ending up to be an Immortals victory from what I can see so far. A timeout comes in, though. I assume it's from Complexity. We'll see what they decide to do here. It's a good time to call it. Don't really have enough money to work with here. They can do a partial buy short. They're a third state loss bonus right now, which means $2,400. They have one player who's a bit more. Slemmy's got $4,200, but I think there's a partial buy here. PT50s, Tech 9s. You can win those sort of rounds. It's unlikely, but then there'll be a 14-8. Then no mistakes can be made. Decent showing here from Complexity, I have to say, in terms of the final few rounds of the first half, winning the pistol as well. Showed some promise, but Immortals now look to be quite comfortable, especially after winning this round. They have plenty of money to work with. It's number 22, so you are, of course, using the Valve official rules here. Just to be clear, it's a Valve run event, obviously, the minors leading up to the major. So you get 4 pauses per game, or per map, I should say. And Slemmy with the chance to take down Henny there, but gets beaten to the punch.
He certainly did. So Immortals on 13. We said it was going to be tough, like you say, to start. And you just referenced that again from Complexity, obviously. But I think they've done well in this game. There's just a few things that need to be improved. Obviously, they had a really poor start, trying to hold off the A site in particular, it seemed.
Yeah, that's the problem with the best of one. If you have that rough start, as you start CT or force buying all over the place, that's when I think you shouldn't even consider force buying the second round, like, especially with the underdog as well. You feel so gutted if you lose the game in that sense because you just limited your own money against a superior team.
The problem is because those mistakes happen very early. Sometimes they're hard to identify because you're like right now it's 13-8, but you were looking at 10-8 a minute ago. You start to look at the mistakes you made when the game's close.
Ooh,
that's a good shot from depth. You have to consider the game being a much longer principle than just those close rounds, and therefore your start matters a lot. But because it's so long ago, it often gets forgotten. I guess is the point I'm making. Either way, good position for Complexity here. They get 2 kills on the pistol plus a bomb plant, so something to work with. But Bolt's finding his 3rd kill in the round. Down to Desi. He's still got a chance in this. Knows they're up close. Headshot on Steel. I don't think he spotted, or he did. Okay, so he's backed up. He didn't. I wasn't sure he knew KNG was going to be coming in from tree right away. But either way, 6 HP was all they survive with. Yeah. Desi nearly gets a 4K to close out the round in favor of Complexity.
Yeah, he's a very talented player there. Desi doing everything he could. It opened things up with that amazing deagle shot from Def towards the vent. It was a round. They actually had a shout of actually winning there as well. 6 HP in the final player, but low HP for Desi as well. Couldn't convert it. Like I said, that was very dirty play from Bolts. Pushing for checkers and actually managing to get 3 very nice headshots there. 14-8 now. Getting to the final few rounds. Complexity with another full buy here. They took a partial on the previous 4-state loss bonus with the bomb going down as well, and some kills, so pretty healthy here. AWP, 4 AKs, and the utility to work with. 3 players towards B storage for now. Desi watching the flank, Slemmy holding middle. No real aggression in the CTs. The thing is as well, you keep coming down to these 1v1s, so Complexity just find one round here. They're back into it again. Another lifeline will be granted towards them, but 1 minute 25. Bomb still down. Doesn't look like Complexity will be giving too much away as of yet. First shot there from Henny. Aggressive in that squeaky door position. Takes down Desi, one of the key players for Complexity.
So Slemmy is going to try and continue to work with his team toward B, it seems, but he's actually over toward A main with bomb, setting up for a set smoke flash out toward middle. The problem is Bolt is already in locker, but thankfully for his sake, he's not going to push through. If he did pick up the bomb, it would have been a huge problem. It's still problematic. As Slemmy finds himself alive but alone. It's the story of my life. And all 5 to go down. Immortals to pick up map points. So they're in position, quite good position at this point.
Yes, map and indeed match point, I guess. At this point, this is we've got 3 best of 1 feed today and 2 best of 3, right?
Just to note as well, no gun rounds won from Complexity on the T side. So the pistol kind of makes it look much better than it is.
Well, yeah, that's always the aim, right? If you have a rough first half, you need to get the pistol, brings you back into it. But you're right, that's all they've already done here in the second half. 15-8, and we'll see whether we've got anything left in the tank for Complexity. 4 AKs and a Galil. No AWP, of course, and the double op set up once again for Henny and KNG, which seems to be quite the deadly duo. And it's going to be AK spray from Lucas. Doesn't do any, does do a bit of damage, beg your pardon, and finds Slemmy as well, who just runs through by himself. I think this could be the end. It's looking very mumuch to be the case. It's going to be Def finding 1 kill, and this might just be a consolation prize at this stage. 4 on 2 now, Def and Desi. What have you got for us? I've been waiting for Def to really break out in the CSGO scene.
I think I've been waiting for the entire UK region.
Yeah,
to really
well, I
break
think you
out,
might be
Henry.
waiting a little bit longer.
It's true. When are you coming back? They need a leader. They need an inspiration.
I'm planning it in 2020.
2020?
Yeah. I'm going to get my skills.
Well, they do say hindsight is 2020, Henry, and maybe you'll realize then that you shouldn't have come back.
Yeah, we'll work it out. I want to make sure I completely ruin my casting career first and then get back.
Oh, I can do that right now if you want.
You've given it a good few attempts.
I can ruin both of ours right now if you'd like. Just let me know. Press the red button. Death goes down. Henny's got the kill on both he and Desi, so 16-8. I think that's about where we expect this to land, to be honest. And like I say, winning second round pistol made things look a little more normalized.
Yeah, to be fair, though, it was just a slow burner. Like we said, Slemmy was on a 1-for-8 for so long. Then he had an amazing few rounds and got the back into it. Maybe for a few more rounds than they deserved as a team. They just had one player, so like every round they're winning, they was going nuts. It was either Death with the AWP, finding a few opening kills, and then Slemmy with those great clutches, and then eco frags as well. Winning the pistol, sure, that was great. But overall, Immortals are the much better team across the board. It felt like, which is to be expected. They are a decorated team. They play in the top level. They're probably like on the fringes of Tier 1.
Well, that's what I was going to touch on. So think about the fact that we're starting in a minor right now with Immortals.
Yeah.
They have failed to make the major every single time,
true,
despite players like Fallen stepping up, despite them doing reasonably well. 2 Katowicas now, winning a dream hack. They've had some success, but they've never made it to a major. So yeah, they're going to be invigorated in this minor.
Yeah, well, that's going to be exciting. I think they're one of the hot favorites to make it to the major qualifier, of course. But Matthew, is that time once again?
It is.
Throw it over to the Wild Boys.
Let's do it. I like it. Oh, well, they're not so wild. We got James. He's quite tame. I like tame James.
Tame James. I like it. I like it. That's cool. I don't mind that. Jason? That's not acceptable.
That's
you
not
can't
bad,
say
actually. I quite like that. Back to you up the duff in the studio.
Do you like the Wild Boys? I like that as well. We could be called the Wild Boys.
But I'm the beaver, he's the vulture.
Yeah, we need.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. What animal am I?
Ooh, we don't know you well enough yet. Give us another day. We'll figure it out.
After day 4, the end of day 4, I will be an animal.
Yeah, we'll have one for you on Sunday. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's delve into that match. It was as one-sided as you predicted. How did you feel about it?
Yeah, I thought it was just, I mean, it's pretty standard kind of from the Immortal side of things, and that's kind of what I touched on when I said they were going to be fundamentally sound. Their trading was just so much better. They're flashing into the bomb, so the organization when they're taking bomb sites and executing was just so strong, and there wasn't organization on the defense to match it from complexity. It took them a long time to really even get into that second half. It just looked like it was going to be a wash.
Yeah, I think it was still cruise control right from the Immortals guys. You saw a bit of the lack of discipline in certain situations. KNG in that 3-on-1 from the vent facing when he didn't need to. Just small details, right? But they're just so confident they're going to win that they were getting away with plays like that, so why not go for them in these kind of situations? The thing for me was complexity. They didn't start with the CT pistol. I think that would have been crucial to get the ball rolling. They sat back and played the sites. If they had maybe had a game plan, right, taken some aggression. I know they did the squeaky push with 2 players. That's one of the worst places you want to go aggressive on this map. It's like, oh, where can we let the T's get a lot of ground on us to take a fight that is now no longer favorable? Let's go into squeaky door.
Especially if you're not going to push, right? Because if they don't come there, then you just have 2 players kind of locked in. They can get surrounded as well. At least if they're getting like highly aggressive and pushing a little bit farther, you can have some kind of a quick flank if you lose territory elsewhere.
Yeah, I wish they just would have taken a page from the Vox Eminol book and started with
obviously, naturally
versus Fnatic back at Gfinity and just pushed B quite a lot and taken fights and forced Immortals to be the ones to make decisions. When you're holding the bomb sites, Immortals can do whatever they want, right? They can just default like Jason was saying, and then they can make the decisions based on the territory they get. KNG was getting up mid to highway quite a lot.
Yeah.
Your mate, Slemmy.
Yeah, big guy. He had a great game, didn't he?
Didn't he?
Did a pretty good game, yeah.
Had a good amount of impact.
Why was I so harsh on him?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's weird.
Maybe you just don't like his hair.
Maybe. Jealous.
And Death. He was he didn't get a lot of frags, but he had a lot of impact on that CT side with the AWP to get the ball rolling, right? He was getting them a couple of rounds by himself with, like, I think it was 1 or 2 3Ks or 2Ks, something like that with the AWP. Had some impact there towards that A-bomb side.
Yeah, and then, I mean, the T side out of complexity just didn't feel... They only got the 3 rounds off the pistol, right?
Yeah.
That was a very curious pistol round from the Immortal side of things as well. Playing retake on that B-bomb site without having anyone flanking as well. All 4 players coming from above and below. They had 1 smoke, which goes in first, who also had the kit. He gets killed. They don't pick up the kit. So, I mean, even despite such a huge advantage there, I mean, complexity was going to lose that round if just the kit is picked up as they go into the bomb site. They lose it. So even that was played poorly, but they just kind of get away with a lucky break there. So, I mean, despite all that, this could have been a much more spread out half. Or game, even.
Yeah, you talked a little bit about the standout players from Complexity. Now we're going to talk about a standout player from Immortals as we go into this segment, which is the Mummy MVP of the game, and it is Lucas. His impact rating 5.53, which takes a load of things into account, things like after plant kills, things like that, retakes, loads of stuff, as you can see here on the screen here, kills, deaths, clutches, opening kills. How do you feel Lucas stood up in this match?
I think Lucas was looking reinvigorated, just like this movie franchise.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's probably a little bit more surprising to see Lucas as the MVP than it is to see Tom Cruise as the lead in The Mummy.
Yeah, who was
And also Russell Crowe is in there as well.
Who was the original
the
lead
mates.
from the Mummy movies?
Brendan Fraser.
Yeah.
What happened to that guy?
What happened to him? Tarzan.
He fell off the face of the earth.
He has. Well, it's
think
tough when Tom Cruise comes knocking and wants to.
I think he's popular on Reddit, I've heard.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I see him pop up on the front page of Reddit all the time.
I only stick to the CSGO subreddit.
Yeah, I only follow one. Anders is the king of subreddits. You should see all the different subreddits he keeps track of.
Lucas is one of those slow burners for this team, right? He's always kind of there as a... It was rumored that he might have been going to SK instead of Phelps, right? Because he's a role player like what FNX is. The problem I have with Immortals is they don't have consistent stars. Henny is a great AWPer, but is very streaky. He doesn't do that every single game. KNG, I actually liked how much of a utility player he seemed because he was AWPing, he was rifling, he was getting pistol frags.
Yep.
He was doing it all and relatively aggressive. So if he can be a consistent factor for this team, they could become more exciting. Bolts and Steel need to find themselves still. And I think throughout this tournament, they have a great chance to do some stat padding and look a little bit better.
I think the biggest issue this team is going to have, oddly enough, is Henny. I've said it for a while, just because I personally, when I look at a team, I don't like inconsistencies in the AWPer. Like, it's great that Henny has those games where he just flat out carries them to wins, like where he drops the 30 kills, where he goes insane, hits all the crazy flick shots, but then he just has those games where he disappears, right? And I'd much prefer that AWPer who's just going to have like his 18 to like 22 kills, just something very, modest, not kind of some kind of an explosive game, but you can rely on to hit the important shots, because the AWP is such a positional weapon. And if you have someone like Henny who's just very up and down, on the games where he's very, very down and he's not hitting those easy shots, then things kind of really tend to collapse around you.
Okay, guys, thank you so much for summing that up. We are going to go to a quick break. The next game is Luminosity and NRG in Group A. It's our next upper bracket match in this group, and we'll be back. Don't go anywhere after a very short break.
Catch off MSL, gets the kill, but then Magician will know he's there. Does he wait? Oh, this is huge! FNX! What a play! Both go down to the side, so undisciplined, and look at him go now!
The mummy has returned. She is a monster. Ruthless, cunning, and evil.
Help me!
Welcome to a new world of gods and monsters.
The Mummy, rated PG-13.